Welcome everyone to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. And tonight we're going to talk about Starfield. Starfield is an action role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It was released on September 6, 2023. Unless you had early access, then you got it in September 1st. And basically it was released on Windows and Xbox Series X and S. So no Xbox One, no PlayStation, no Switch, just those two things. So, and next gen, obviously. Released to mixed reviews, good reviews, bad reviews, everywhere in between. But we'll kind of let these guys get into it first before we give my take on it. But you know, it was one of Microsoft's biggest exclusives to date, console exclusive. I don't even know if we'd even call it an exclusive because it's on PC. Microsoft will never put anything exclusively on Xbox or console, really, or PC. So, but let's dive into this one and probably give it to Shane first. Shane, what are your initial impressions about Starfield?
We have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And after all the hurdles and trials and tribulations Microsoft has had for several years now, and many high profile fails, this was the game I believe we all pretty much agreed was going to be possibly the nail in the coffin if they didn't pull it off. It's not the nail, but it's not perfect. And that's okay. That really is okay. My background on Bethesda games is I enjoy them. I don't love them, but I've always enjoyed them. My problem with Bethesda games is, and with games of this genre, is there's too much. There's just so damn much to do. So many things you can do. I have little time and a little brain. It's hard for me to do all those things. So that's my background on Bethesda games. I enjoyed Skyrim. I used to enjoy Fallout till I hit a glitch, and I haven't played one since Fallout New Vegas. Made me mad, so I stopped playing. But this is a good game. Not perfect, but it's a damn good game. The Bethesda is known for bugs, and it has bugs, but it is nowhere near as bad as pretty much every game they have put out in form of bugs. So I'm going to get that right out there. I think they did a great job overall with the release. I think it was released pretty solid game overall. I only ran into a few bugs that were irritating as hell, but nothing broke the game for me. Although I did get a weird split screen thing going on. I sent these guys matches. I'm playing two at once, so it was pretty cool for a minute. But the game's good. I didn't do a lot of things so far because, like I said, there is a lot to do. But this game hits my buttons a lot more than like Skyrim or Fallout because it's sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi guy. It works for me. These side stories, side quests are my favorite part so far. The main story, I haven't probably put more than 20 minutes in because I've done nothing but play all the side stuff and all that. I can't even remember what the hell the story was about from the beginning. I really don't, because there was a thing, I touched a thing, and now I am a thing. I don't know. But this game has got me pretty darn good. Like I said, it's not perfect. And there's a lot of negative people out there for the wrong reasons to be negative. Yes, it's a Microsoft exclusive, but it is on PC, so you can go play it. But being that it's a Microsoft exclusive, sort of, people are out there are hating on it for the wrong reasons. A lot of it is because it's exclusivity. A lot of it is just, butthurt. Sony was going to buy this game, buy the uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Exclusivity of it. They didn't get the chance. Microsoft said, nah, here's my check. It happens. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in with gaming right now. So do not let those people take you away from this game, because it is a good game. I mean, with my love for these types of games, or lack thereof, I really enjoy this game. It's kind of a bummer that it does run 30 frames on Xbox. I think that's probably the biggest downfall for me, because I saw it running on PC, and I played a little bit on PC at a much better frame rate, and it looks good. It plays good. I like this game. So don't let the haters make you hate it when you ain't even played it. But I like this game. I really do. Nick, what about you, bud? You were probably, well, not as much as Pat. I don't think anybody was as excited as Pat was, but what do you think of this game?
Yeah, Pat's the #1 Starfield stunner.
Check out his unboxing, by the way, of his collector's edition.
That's right. Yeah, so I did complete the story. That's what when this game initially came out, the rumblings online was to finish the story and do the second New Game Plus. Spoiler alert, there's a New Game Plus. I think we all knew that. But if you didn't, sorry, I just spoiled it for you. But so, because there are some things that you get in New Game Plus, so I won't spoil what you get. You have to find that out for yourself. But there are a few things you get. So the people online were saying, hey, you should finish the story and do that. So I did. I finished the story. The story is not great. Like, the story is not necessarily bad, but it's not good either. It's just really middle of the road. Like, you won't give a crap regardless one way or the other. And once you finish it, if you just beeline the story like I did, you will end up disliking Starfield quite a bit by the end of it. You'll be like, this is boring. I hate doing this. I started New Game Plus, started my character, or continued my character, I guess, because you don't really start a new one. You just continue the character you had. And I decided I'm just going to be a space explorer, just explore space and not really give a crap about anything. And when I did that, though, I started to have some fun with the game, right? I was doing the side quests, because I really only did like 2 side quests when I was beelining the main story, and really just focused on the main story after that. But I started doing the side quests, and I found that the side quests were a lot more engaging, a lot more, more adventure going on with those than the main story had. Like, compared to the side quests, the main story is pretty disappointing compared to some of the side quests. But so I was having a lot of fun with that. I was just working on an outpost, working on, collecting things, building starships, whatever, right? This game lets you build starships. That's cool. It brings in outpost building, which Fallout 4 had. One thing that Pat said at the very beginning, when we started playing this game, was it reminds him of Fallout 4 in space. And I would 100% agree with that. It is like Fallout 4 in space with some additional stuff, right? Starship building. And there's some additional things that Bethesda's add to this. So, I've put a lot of hours into this game, and there are times I'm very middle of the road with it. Because there are times, even with my second character, where I find myself having a lot of fun. And there are times where I find myself kind of bored and don't really know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I want to do, or I'm not having a good time doing it. Like, it has its moments, right? Where it's really fun and I'm having a good time. And then it has its moments where I'm just like, this is a slog. So I'm really, I'm with Shane on the fact that I don't think this is a bad game. I don't think it's a great game either. I think it's an okay game. I think one of the things that for me personally, am kind of, don't get me wrong about Starfield. Starfield will be played like Skyrim. It will be played till the end of time, and it'll probably come out on the Xbox 3025, special edition Starfield Legacy Space Edition will come out on that, right? I mean, this game will, because the modding community is going nuts, and they'll just continue to create cool mods on PC. Just like they did with Skyrim, just like they did with Fallout. So I don't think this game's, player base is going to drop out of the sky or anything, or float off into space anytime soon. I think the people are going to continue to play this game. And there is fun to be had in the game, depending on what you want to do, right? Just like every Bethesda RPG. I think for me, one of the biggest things is one of the biggest, I guess, negatives for myself, and this is just for me personally, is I do like Bethesda RPGs, but I'm kind of, with Starfield, I was kind of hoping for Bethesda to go with something different than their tried and true Bethesda RPG. And that's kind of what we got here, is the same tried and true, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, right? Because Skyrim, Fallout, all those worked for them. Starfield will too. But it's just like, I kind of wish Bethesda would do something else different with Starfield, right? I was kind of hoping for, some additional things, like kind of what No Man's Sky has, where you can fly in and out of planets. Because the planetary system, I think space travel and space itself, they could have done a lot more with, because it almost feels like Starfield is more of a planets game than it is a space game. There is stuff that you can do in space, but space is kind of, in a sense, like a glorified fast travel menu, right? Because I spent most of my time when traveling looking at the star map, which is just the map of the solar system and the different universes and things like that, and then picking a planet, flying to there, or if I could, because sometimes if you're close enough to a planet, you could just land on the thing and you don't even see space at all. You're on a planet, it goes to a loading screen, and then you're on the next planet, right? And you don't see space whatsoever. So that was kind of disappointing, because I wanted to be able to fly out, and I understand why they didn't do it, right? Because that would, that No Man's Sky has not as graphical fidelity as Starfield does, right? So that would take a lot of horsepower to be able to fly in and out of planets and things like that. So I get why they went that route. Plus, it would be slow, right? And they're trying to make it so where you can get to the action a little bit quicker. It would be kind of nice if they did like a mixture where you could fast travel, but also fly in and out of planets if you wanted to, right? Just kind of give a mix of, hey, you can do both. For those people that are like, I'm in a hurry, I'm just going to fast travel there. Or the other people are like, hey, I'd like to fly kind of warp speed across and, shoot down through the atmosphere and land somewhere. Landing could be just automatic too. When you get close to the surface, you can just hit a button and it lands for you, right? You don't have to necessarily like, what is it? Elite Dangerous, where you have to actually like maneuver your ship in, and, that's like putting a square peg in a round hole, trying to land your ship in that game. But, it would have been cool to have some of that stuff. So there are some things that I wish were in the game that are not. I do find that the gunplay is fun. But I don't know, because I'm at the point in the game now, like my guy is I feel like I'm so powerful that when I get into gunfights, and I'm playing on normal difficulty, so maybe I just spike the difficulty up. But I feel like in enemy engagements, I'm not really having to like duck and weave, right? I'm just kind of going through there, like Terminator, just mowing everybody down like they're standing still, But it is what it is. So, like I said, there are some things I like and some things I dislike. So I'm really kind of middle of the road as there's moments where I play it. And I'm still playing the game. I still jump on and for a couple hours and play. So there's moments I get on there and I'm having a lot of fun. There's moments I get on there where I'm trying to have fun, but I'm just not, right? And so I don't know what that is, right? But there are some bad things about this game. Like I said, talking to the guys, I think I've mentioned to both of these guys that the companions are pretty awful in this game. I think personally. I don't like the companions. One thing Pat brought up was the idle chatter of the companions, and that's annoying as hell. On my second playthrough as my character, I have no companions with me. Besides them being pack mules, I just don't want to hear their voices or them being in my way, because they're really bad AI too, where they'll stand in front of you when you're trying to shoot things, or they'll stand in front of you when you're trying to open up lockers and things like that, or they'll bug you constantly to give you some gift that they got. Sarah Morgan, which is one of the main companions that you started with, she bugged me for like 5 planets straight. And I finally turned around and said, "What do you want?" And she said, "I got you something it's a flower. And I just said, I'm going to shove this flower so far up, like stood up bugging me about damn flower. I don't care. So that just annoyed the crap out of me. So like companions, like I don't give a crap about, but there are other aspects I do enjoy, right? I think the spaceship crafting is a cool mechanic. I like that. I think that's really cool. The outpost crafting, I mean, we had that in Fallout 4, but it's greatly expanded, right? I like the whole space theme. I like that part. I like the different spaceships, taking over spaceships, boarding spaceships, and some of the planets are pretty cool. I wish they would have done more with the planets, but I understand, again, limitations and things like that. And the resource gathering sometimes can be fun sometimes, especially when you're trying to build towards something, right? Then it's kind of fun to go out there and start collecting resources. But you can scan planets to find, does this one have nickel on it or aluminum or whatever on there? So I can go in there and either build a mining rig to mine that up, or I can just go in there and cut it out of the rock, and stuff like that. So it's got some cool aspects, but again, it's got some aspects to me personally that I find kind of boring in a slog. So it's really kind of the middle of the road. I do like the game, but again, there's just some aspects that I don't like that kind of wear down its welcome to me. So it's kind of I'm mixed, right? It just depends on how I feel on the day when I'm playing the game. And that's where I'm at. So Pat, what about you, man?
So I'm a huge Fallout fan. So this game is, and I love Skyrim. I didn't play Skyrim as much as I played Fallout. But at the same time, I thoroughly enjoyed this game, but I have I have a lot of the same qualms as you guys do. The companions annoy the piss out of me. Like, I've not been doing the main storyline. The biggest tidbit I can give you is don't give a rat's ass about the main storyline, because I'm having way too much fun. And I just finished. I have yet to do anything past the Into the Beyond or whatever it's called, Into the Unknown. And that's where everybody kind of tells you to go, at least when you're playing, because something happens, and I'm not going to spoil any of it for everybody, but they're telling you to do that because then it opens up more gameplay. But I can tell you what it opened up for me, I could care less about, and I haven't touched any of it. So I probably spent 6 to 8 hours alone in the shipbuilding part of it alone, because it's really fun to make a ship how you want it to be with the modules you want and look how you want it to look. I mean, there's some people making some cool stuff out there if you looked online, and but the companions get on my nerves because they criticize pretty much everything you do, which is annoying. I unfortunately, I have not done the story, and I'm running with Sam Co or whatever his name is, something Co, and he is the most annoying companion ever. And it's because I'm onto the main storyline where he's at, and I should just tell him to go wait at the ship, and I'll talk to him later. But I use them as pack mules, so without them, I should just pull the robot Vasco back in and use him because at least he's not as annoying as the rest. But they will always run in front of you while you're shooting something, or like Nick said, stand in front of you while you're trying to open a locker or loot something, and you're like, move your big ass out of the way. So there's things like that. I will say this is the least buggiest release day game I've played from Bethesda, that they've developed, I should say. I remember when Fallout 4 and when Skyrim both came out, and I can remember when Skyrim's opening scene came out, and I was playing that one, and the horse went freaking crazy, and the cart went crazy, and next thing I know, I'm spinning on the cart, and I'm like, is this supposed to happen? And you're like, oh no, that was a bug, and you're like, you're being pulled by, or there's no horses pulling the cart or something stupid. I ran into that. To be honest, most of the stuff that I ran into as bugs is just random shutdowns, but random is that I've been playing this game for 6 hours, and the game's like, it's break time. My console's like, I'm going to kill this game so I can get break time. And occasionally weird things where your companions make comments in the middle of a story dialogue, and it like changes focus to the companion on the screen, and they'll be like no companion, or they'll be behind a wall or a plant or a chair, and you're looking at them behind the chair or something, and you're like, or there's no companion. There's just an empty room talking. So, that's typical stuff to see from them. But for the most part, my playthroughs have been relatively bug free. There's an occasional thing like where you can do stuff you're not supposed to by peering through the cracks of something to grab loot or something like that, or just random weird stuff like that. It's typical, but I think a lot of gets people. What got Bethesda in trouble is that they didn't really differentiate this game as saying. I think they didn't push that it's an RPG logic enough. A lot of people were probably thinking this is a space exploration game when it's not. It's a tried and true RPG. The time you spend in space is very minimal. I mean, as much as I love messing with my ship, sometimes it's kind of a waste because I can get in a dogfight with 5 ships that are higher level than me and just completely wax the floor with them because of the way I built the ship that I've got. But the space combat is few and far in between. You don't run into that much, I mean, you run into random encounters, random saving factions from pirates, or if you join the pirates, you piracy yourself. And as Nick said, technically, you don't even have to fly from planet to planet. The only time it forces you to fly from a planet to a planet is if you're going into a planet that has security around it that scans your ship before you land. If you're on a planet going to a planet that doesn't have that, you can immediately cutscene fast travel from the planet you're on to the surface of the planet. You never see the ship, never see any of that. So there is that aspect of it. So the ship stuff is they need to expand upon that, in my opinion. I think a lot of people were expecting Fallout in No Man's Sky, really, I mean, and I think they just didn't distance that enough, and that's what people's expectation was. They were expecting, I'm going to get Bethesda level story and art and all this with No Man's Sky, which is just not what this game is. This game is a tried and true RPG. It's on a very large scale, and I find doing the side missions, just like Nick and Shane said, the side missions way more fun than the main story. Like I said, I've not touched the main story because I had too much fun, picking a faction that I wanted to run through their storyline, because the faction storylines, in my opinion, are interesting. The main story is just kind of like, okay, this is kind of interesting, but I want to go hunt terramorphs, or I want to go become a pirate, or I want to go become this or that. I want to commit corporate espionage. I want to do something other than do the main story. And so I find that I've done that. I've done nothing but side stuff, cleared complete sectors of side stuff that I could find, and built outpost after outpost and learned the ropes of outpost building and all that stuff. So, and then just dug deep into all the skills, because there's like 80 different skills, and each skill has like 5 sub levels to it or something like that, 4 or 5. So it is deep. It is a deep game, but it is a tried and true RPG. It is not a space exploration game. And I think that's what's hurting them, is that a lot of players are thinking that it's that. I'll tell you right now, the game is getting enough attention that it's driving the increase of Xbox sales. I mean, I read plenty of articles about Xbox like having record number of unit sales because of this game. So people are buying Series S's and X's for this. I am disappointed at 30 FPS on the Xbox. But I ended up having to be forced to load this game up on my PC and play it. And I'm kind of glad I did. It looks much better on the PC. So I'm currently playing it hooked up to my PC, with my PC running on my TV and just using my Xbox controller. I do think the Xbox, they did a really good thing with the way the controls are on the controller, because I played with it on the keyboard and mouse for a while, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to put this back on the controller. And so I did. I made the mistake of installing a mod, and I will warn anybody here, it's typical Bethesda game. If you install a mod, it immediately flags your game as modded, and then you can no longer get achievements. So the reason I am on PC playing it now is because I put on a mod to check out some of the texture things, and I wasn't getting achievements. I'm like, what the heck? And so I Googled it, and I come to find that out. So, but there is a mod that allows you to re-enable re-enable the achievements on there, so that you can then get achievements again while you're playing it. So I'm playing on there because I have to run this mod to undo the modded, because I modded it, played it, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'll just go back to a previous save before I modded on the Xbox and continue to play it. That didn't matter. Anytime I loaded up even a save that was a day old and then saved it saved that save as a modded save. So I think that's a bug, but what are you going to do, right? So if you mod it, I've seen reports too online that even if you open the console menu, it automatically flags it as modded, or because it thinks that you've enabled a cheat code or something like that. So don't even open up, which is bad because I don't know about you guys, but I hit the tilde key on my keyboard all the time trying to hit the escape button and open up console or whatever. So, I wish there's probably a way to disable the console in the INI file. But it is a pain because I also got the game on Xbox Game Pass on my PC, and the way that the mods aren't very friendly to the Game Pass version, by the way. So if you're really big into modding, I would tell you to buy the Steam version, because the Steam version supports the Starfield script creator, whereas the Xbox version does not support that. So also, if you're big into modding, unfortunately, the Bethesda tools for modding is not going to be out until sometime in 2024. So it's going to put the modding behind. I think they said it's going to come out with a DLC. I honestly believe that the game wasn't finished baking and they just were like, we want to get it out. No, that's the problem. But I love the game. I don't think it's a perfect game. I think it's a great game. It's got a lot that I'm enjoying. I've got over 110 hours into the game. So I put a lot of time into this. I mean, I was off work all last week and I pretty much played till 3:00 in the morning every morning, and went to bed, got up at 10, started all over again, so I did that a lot last week and over the weekend. I couldn't put it down. It did get to the point where, as Nick says, sometimes I'd get on and I'd just be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'll just start messing around. And next thing you know, I'm 5 hours deep into building a new outpost or something. So it's one of those games. It's more fun to screw off than to play the game sometimes. I wish there was co-op in here, you go out with your friends as a gang of pirates and start blowing up ships or something, get bounties on your head or something. But it reminds me of Fallout because of the perks. Like there's perks. Like when you start the game, I did a perk called like Kid something, where it makes you have parents and you go visit them and you give them money, but then they give you things and stuff like that. And then a bounty perk, which means that sometimes bounty hunters show up and attack you randomly. So I find this game thoroughly enjoyable and I love it. But I don't think it's perfect. I don't think that it is the epitome of the best out there, but I do find it enjoyable. And I think it's going to be just like Skyrim, as Nick said. There's going to be Starfield special edition, anniversary edition, everything. And just think, everybody, this was almost a PlayStation exclusive because Bethesda had working deals with Sony. I mean, look at Deathloop. And this was also on the list to be a Sony exclusive. I think, and I wholeheartedly believe this, that a lot of the negative reviews are coming from people upset that it's not on that console. I hate to hear that, because just imagine how much better the reviews would have been if it would have came out. If Microsoft didn't buy them and it was a PlayStation exclusive, I mean, they would have gotten some bad press as well from the Microsoft people, but it seems like the PlayStation people are like a very squeaky wheel sometimes with this stuff. And a lot of what I've been reading online on the reviews is makes me go, did you even play the game? Because some of the things they say, I'm like, that's not in the game, or that doesn't happen. I've watched numerous videos. I watched a vlog the other day of somebody talking to a guy on the PlayStation. I'm assuming he's PlayStation, because he asked him about, one of the opening scenes. Well, he said, I played 2 hours. And he's like, so what didn't you like about the opening scene? And so he made a comment about murdering the people because the lady was like, told you to, or because it's a choice you made. He's like, well, it's because I was forced to. And he's like, that didn't happen in the game, right? He's like, I did play this, I swear. And I'm like, just, if you don't like it because it's console exclusive, say that. That has more garner and weight to it to anybody than saying a made up mixed fake review. If you don't like it because of that, fine. We have voiced our complaints about certain things coming out on PlayStation only that's not on Xbox, and no rhyme to reason why. you're entitled to that. But you're not entitled to lie about what you've done in a game and it's that bad of a game. I mean, complain that it's not on PlayStation. Perfectly relevant point. But to complain about something that doesn't happen in the game, or complain about a game mechanic because you didn't play it, or because you can't play it, but you make up a lie, well, that's obviously speaks a lot to your character, I should say. But I love the game, and I would highly recommend anybody that is into RPGs or Bethesda to play this. If you're into space exploration, this isn't for you. If you're into like really hardcore base building, it's not for you. Outposts are not that big of a deal. They're cool to build, and they're not like Subnautica level detail of building a base or anything, but they are like, I can build this and I can create these cool structures and cool links for their outposts and things like that. I could build cool ships, but if you think you're going to go out into space and fly around and play, No Man's Sky style game, that's not what it is. It's an RPG through and through. It is not that. It is not EVE Online. It is nothing like any of those games. It is space is almost like a secondary thought in this game, and that's unfortunate. So,
yeah, that's probably, the biggest critique that's factual that I read was the space part is not what the exploration part was not what people were, say, led to believe. You can look at a whole planet, sort of, but you have to keep landing in different areas to do it, and you can't do it with all planets. That was one of the biggest gripes. So if you take off running, you run into a barrier, because I think most of it's all procedurally generated, if I could say the frickin' word. So, and I could understand that. And honestly, you don't need to run across the entire goddamn planet. Big deal that you can. But if you're told you could, then that's a load of crap. But this isn't going to stop me from playing the game. There is plenty there to keep me going. And yeah, these guys are right. It's going to be on 2 years. It'll be re-released on everything, and it'll be on Sony. I bet at some point in the future, maybe on the PS6, Microsoft will be like, you know what? I can use that money. It'll be on the Switch too. Maybe if there's ever a Switch 2. But yeah, this is a great game. Overall, it's definitely worth it. Play it yourself if you got Game Pass to really get it. Don't go off of all the negative reviews. So, but that's all I got, because I'm going to go play it after I pick up kids.
Yeah, I would say if you love or like Bethesda games, if you like RPGs, this is definitely an RPG. If you want a space exploration or space sim game, this is not for you, because it's not that. I mean, I'll be honest. I spent so much time building a ship that I really don't even look at that much, because honestly, the only time I ever see it is when I fly into a planet that has a security scan and I fast travel to it. And I'm like, oh, got to wait for the security scan before I can land. Most of the time I'm fast traveling from place to place to place to do what I need to do and get through that, and, killing bad guys. I mean, it is kind of cool to board an enemy ship and take them all out and steal their ship and then register it as your own. I will say the economy in the game is completely broken, because I don't know if you guys have stolen ships yet, but ships sell for anywhere between 8 to 10 grand, but they cost like hundreds of thousands of credits to buy. And I'm like, you're going to charge me 8,000 credits to register this ship, and then you're going to let me sell it for 10,000. So I thought early on in the game, I'm going to make money that way. I'm going to go board ships, kill all the people on them, steal them, and sell them. Nope, doesn't work that way. They basically screwed that pooch on the economy, because you can pretty much build or buy a ship exactly like theirs. It's going to cost you a butt ton of money, like 100,000 credits plus, but they're only going to give you 10 to 20,000 credits for that thing to buy it. So the economy's a little jacked.
It's all based off the GameStop program. So
right. I'll give you 5,000 credits for that, and I'm going to turn around and sell it for 105.
Even in the distant future of Starfield, inflation is still a problem.
Yeah, that's still a problem. You, the player, always get the shaft because you can't sell it. They'll turn around and make that profit for you. But so I think, you guys got anything else you want to chat on this one about? I think we've kind of set our piece on without trying to get into too much political, console versus console war type stuff.
No,
I'm pretty sure we beat this space horse to death.
Yeah, and I would agree with these guys. Like, try it for yourself. Don't take the word of the negative reviews or people that you hear out there commenting on things. A lot of it is just people hating on, my black box is better than yours, type of thing. So just try it out for yourself. If you have an Xbox or if you have a PC, one way you can easily try the game out to see if you're going to like it is by, just subscribing to a month of Game Pass. You could download it on your computer or your Xbox and try it out. And if you really like it, and you want to support the game, you can go and purchase it. But I agree with Pat, if you're going to play on PC, I'd probably go through the Steam version. The mods are going to be a lot easier to work with than the Xbox version of the game. But either way, you can still get some mods to work on the Xbox version. So you just kind of have to pick and choose. But if you want all the mods and the modding community, they're already made a ton of mods on PC for this game, and they'll just continue to make more and more. I know one of the modders is a very popular modder. I can't think of his name, but he's making a high resolution HD texture pack mod for the entire game. Currently working on that for PC. So, when that comes out, if you got a rig that can run it, that'll look really awesome. The game looks good now, but you get someone that goes in and does all that, and the modding community on day one, this game is AMD because that's what's running in the Xbox and everything. And so they're using AMD's FSR. But they, the modding community on day one created a DLSS mod for NVIDIA cards, right? So you can run DLSS in Skyrim or in Starfield on PC. So, it's insane what they've created so far. There's can't remember how many, but there's a few hundred, maybe more than that, mods already out for this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of mods. That's exactly it. Like, this game was missing the DLSS, stuff for, and I'm like, what? In NVIDIA, you're missing the NVIDIA accelerators and stuff. Why? So, but somebody built a mod to put that in there. They built mods for everything. They redid the UI. One thing you'll find out when you get in there, if you play this game, is the map sucks. No matter if you're on a planet or you're in space, both of them suck. Somebody has done maps and things like that. So, the modding community's always been big in these games. Fallout, and all this stuff. Fallout, Skyrim, all have tons of mods, and this one will be no different. It's an RPG, and people will play it. They'll take a space arrow to the knee, just like in previous games, and it'll be meme city before long with this game. So,
yeah, and the inventory sucks in this game too.
Yes, there's already inventory management mods as well.
Yes, there's already a mod for it.
Yeah. So if you like RPGs, I think you'll like it. If you're expecting a space sim, like we said, or a space exploration game, this is not that. So if that's what you're really looking for, I would probably hold off and get it when it's on sale or something like that, or do Game Pass for the monthly subscription 1 month and play it to see if it's really worth your time. But I don't think this game is a 4. I don't think it's a 3. I don't think it's a 10. I am on the upper side. I'm thinking this is in the 8s to 9s. I don't think it's even as low as a 7 on the scores that people are giving it. But, that's just my opinion. I love these kind of games, so it's in my wheelhouse. If you're not like one of these people that loves to waste time playing RPG quests, trying out, cool new armors, cool new ship designs, cool new, starports or not, or starports, but, all that stuff, bases and stuff, then this is probably not going to be for you. So, form your own opinion. Ignore these console war people with the tinfoil hats and the blue painted faces. So just ignore all that and, form your own opinion. Play it. Don't play it. Hate that it's not on PlayStation. Perfectly valid. So, let us know what you think. If you played it, what's your favorite part? And you made it to the end. Help us out. Subscribe to our channel, help beat the console wars by denying either side that there's a console war, and love games for games. So we hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.